Hey hot girl, what's up? Hey, how are you today? My name is Margaret Angel. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here. On my channel, I post anti-MLM, beauty, humorous, and whatever's on my mind type of content. So if that interests you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Let's get into the video. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday to my Sunday crew that's watching this video. Girl. So one night I couldn't sleep and I was thinking again.
Which is something that I should not be doing.
But I was sitting there, I was thinking, and I was like 2 a.m. and I was like, man, I wonder how that Avon lady that I used to have at church is doing. Because girl, let me tell you, she was a mess. Like she was the messiest person. She was always spreading gossip. She was that one person at church that, you know, really needed the Holy Spirit, girl. But she was always toting her Avon stuff. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, how is homegirl doing? And upon me thinking about her, I started thinking about Avon. Now, when I was younger, Avon was it. I didn't know what MLM was. I'm sure my mom probably didn't even know it. No one knew that term, right? But there were Avon ladies everywhere. And I remember every week at Mass, she would always give us a different brochure. They had those brochures coming out like this, and we would be ordering products left and right. I mean, I had Skin So Soft, the Mark beauty brand, the fragrances. I love to scratch the page and smell it. Like I was into Avon. And to tell you the truth, I still am into a lot of their products. I still do like, although I don't support the company anymore, a lot of their products are very nostalgic to me. And I guess with that nostalgia, it prompted me to do a really informal search on what Avon is doing as a company, and I found something that was so incredibly interesting. I had to share it with you all. So I came across a case study. I know, look, it's not as boring as it sounds, I promise. The tea is good. The case study is called "Which billion-dollar company will be bankrupt by 2020?" The answer, Avon products. Now, Catamount Investments with the School of Administration and the University of Vermont.
Say that 3 times fast.
What they did was they created a case study to show their projection for how they think Avon is going to plummet at the end of this year. Now, what they discovered and their synopsis is so incredibly profound. I thought this was incredibly interesting and informative to bring this information to you all. Now, there are many parts of this case study. We're going to be going through the highlights that I think are going to be most interesting to my viewing audience. I ain't here to bore you, girl. I'm here to give you what's good. So let's begin. So Avon products will file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy by the end of 2020 and is highly recommended to be sold short in the meantime. Avon is a global manufacturer and marketer of beauty and related products founded by David H. McConnell in 1886. The company was established on the foundation of giving women a chance at financial independence, an idea that was revolutionary given the time period. However, as women become more and more prevalent in the workforce throughout the past 128 years, this vision has become outdated and irrelevant. So Avon started off as this amazing company that was to actually empower women, to make women salespeople so that way they can generate their own money. Because think about it, the men were doing everything back then. Women were told to stay in the house, cook, clean, and produce kids. That's it. That's all the woman's role was. She was not a financial head of the household at all. And I could see why women wanted to feel a little bit more like, hey, I can contribute too. So hence, they started becoming salespeople, which in my mind is incredible. It started off with this great movement, this great message, and then just like anything good, when things become lucrative, a lot of times greed can override what the actual mission was, and the next thing you know, things start to plummet. We're about to be going into how Avon began to lose money. Ever since 2012, Avon has completely gone straight down in revenue, mostly because of the launch of social media and using outdated practices. Keep in mind that in 2012, social media really started to take off, and Avon wasn't on that flight. Instagram was popping, Facebook was popping at the time, and when that takeoff happened, a highly competitive market came into play. Now let's go into the industry analysis. So the industry analysis breaks down the cosmetic industry into 2 parts. You have the mature businesses and then you have the emerging businesses. Now you have the mature markets like L'Oreal and Estee Lauder that have solid built foundations. They're parent companies that own a lot of businesses under them, and they're always fighting to stay competitive in the beauty market. And then you have that in comparison with emerging markets, which are companies that want to see rapid growth and rapid revenue in a very short amount of time, which in hindsight is pretty much what MLMs are, right? You have this huge spike of people, a huge downline under you, a lot of money coming in, in a very short fraction of time. Now, the case study states that the cosmetics industry is highly correlated to these two factors, and companies must use this knowledge to position themselves for positive growth outcomes, an aspect that Avon has struggled with in past years and will continue to do so. So I mentioned to you the emerging market, right? The market that wants that rapid growth and that rapid money. But that rapid growth market may be the highest way to spike, but it also can be the hardest crash when you come down. So let's talk about how that crash works, girl. So Avon claims to really take pride in the fact that they are distinguished from those mature markets because they produce the direct selling model, which if you do watch me, I'm so sorry, but I do have to go over this. For those of you that don't know, what the direct selling market is that these women are being told that they are going to be CEOs of their own businesses, to where they are going to be selling the inventory from Avon to the consumer. So basically, they're the middleman between Avon and the consumer. You have the seller. The seller is also called a representative of Avon, along with being their own CEO. They receive commission based off of what they've sold. This is a system that has been made obsolete in today's society due to a dramatic increase in consumer buyer power from technological improvements. Consumers no longer have to rely on a salesperson to give them details about the product. They can do that on their own without even leaving the home due to advancements in online resources. Again, social media, the internet. We don't have to worry about the door-to-door person, the person that's in our face giving us pamphlets. I can look something up for myself to see if I want it, put it in my cart, and have it shipped to me in 2 to 5 business days. You see, the representative with Avon is put at a very unfair advantage because they can't compete with social media. They can't compete with all the technological advances that we have to be able to just look at an app, see that we like something, click on it, or even look at a YouTube video, look at me, put on my makeup and say, hey, I wonder if that would work for me. A booklet is not going to do that for you. So that spike is going to continue to go down. Now, Avon claims that they are still optimistic about their business model and they plan to continue to move forward and be positive. But this positive role includes decreased revenue, completely obliterating their cash flow, and a debt to equity ratio that is unheard of. The case study goes on to say that their YOY, which is their year-to-year analysis, shows that the company is dying in revenue. And the only way for them to not become a zero company, which zero means that your debt has completely obliterated what you made, for them to not become a zero company means that they have to completely change their entire business model, which Avon has stated time and time again they will not do. And since the debt to income ratio has been so high for the company, shareholders have either been not interested or pulling out of the company as a whole because their investments have not been returned. Their ROI is just not working out, right? If the company has higher debt than what is coming in, then the shareholders are obviously not going to want to be involved with the company anymore. Hence, that cash flow is going to continue to plummet. Now, to me, I don't understand Avon being so ballsy saying that, oh no, we're still going to do direct selling. We're still going to send out catalogs. We're still going to try to work the online market as best as we can. I don't understand how they think that this is a good idea, because if you have shareholders pulling out, that's a huge deal. The shareholders are honestly what keep you active on the stock market to begin with. So if you don't have people there investing their time, investing their money, purchasing stocks for your business to stay afloat, your business is going to tank because you're a shareholder open company. So what are you doing? This is not good. I'm no financial advisor, but that's not smart. All right, girl, let's get into the tea. Okay, so according to the case study, Avon is going to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to
3 main events.
So that sounds like a lot, but girl, it really isn't. It's actually very, very simple. And I'm nobody's thesaurus, and I completely understand. So I'm gonna break it down for you. So the first point is the main thing. They are missing the entire point, you guys. Think of America for a minute, where the land of where most people, I guess, are free and everyone is expected to work. You know, in this country, women have pretty much equal rights on paper as to men. We can have the titles on our names too. What I mean by all of that is we are all expected to work. And in this economy, we all have heavy bills. A lot of us have mortgages. A lot of us have student loan debt. We need actual jobs that are going to be able to take care of what America has bestowed upon us. We have to be able to put that money on those bills and sustain our lives. A lot of times, only one person working in the household, just one breadwinner, doesn't make it in this economy. You need 2 heads actively working to make things work. So a lot of times direct selling is going to be overlooked because it's not guaranteed. And those bills are guaranteed, so my money needs to be guaranteed, period. Now, the second point, attempting to modernize their direct selling model is too little too late and won't succeed due to misaligned commissions. So basically they're doing too much by saying they're not going to change up the business plan and that the direct selling model is still going to be their go-to. Little to no profit because their debt to income ratio is so incredibly skewed, along with the shareholders pulling out. And the commission sucks. The commission plan for Avon sucks. So representatives are going to see that, notice that it's not going to be what the whole CEO dream was, and they're also going to pull out from the company. Which brings me to my next point. Avon has been seeing double-digit declines in representative representation within the company. At the peak of when Avon was the most successful, they had over 600,000 women. Now it's less than 300,000. That's more than half of the revenue gone. That's more than half of the distributors gone. That's more than half of their market completely obliterated. A lot of that could be for things we could just name, right? A lot of people are not going through catalogs, looking through things to see, oh wait, I need to purchase this, I need to purchase that. We don't really live in a paper market anymore. Everything is online, and Avon was very, very late to the online market, right? I told you in 2012 when that social media peak started to hit, Avon was nowhere to be found. Avon came late to the party, and because they came late, everybody else dispersed. We can't help you. And because they straggled by themselves, they're losing, right? They didn't take the time to educate themselves when all of this was booming, and now you have the repercussions because you didn't ascend with everybody else. Now in 2015, a lot more full-time jobs within the American economy were starting to spike up. So a lot of these representatives are starting to say, hey, let's go back to work because at least that money was guaranteed, and this is not working out for me. Basically, the creation of more full-time jobs decreased the attraction to Avon products and selling for the company. Now, the internet and technology is not the same everywhere else. In North America, we are very, very fortunate that we have access to everything as soon as we hit our fingers to the keypad or we're scrolling on our phones. Every other country doesn't have that luxury. And with that, Avon typically has done better with more outdated countries like Brazil and Venezuela. Their Latin market has actually been what's held the company up because they're so regressed compared to us in North America. Now, like I said, with every ascension, there has to be a fall. And with these two prominent countries, Brazil and Venezuela, there have been a lot of problems in these markets. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Brazil is actually really big in the oil industry. Brazil's economy was hit hard because oil prices continued to fall. So because an inflation could not occur, a lot of people were kind of like, well, you know, I can't purchase from you. A lot of things are going on with the oil industry. Everything is starting to tank. I don't have the money to be able to support the distributors or support Avon, period. Hence, that market started to cease. Now with Venezuela, there's a lot of turmoil, political instability, a lot of crime, a lot of things going on over there to where people aren't really focusing on distributorship and buying things because people are really poor and no one has the money to buy from an Avon distributor when they can't even get ingredients for food to take care of their family. So there goes that market. Along with the oil industry also plummeting in Venezuela. Like, look, oil controls everything, right? So when you have 50% of the company's stake, when you have your money invested in these unpredictable areas, unpredictable things are gonna happen. And unfortunately for Avon as a company, they're gonna have to draw for on that. Because until all that political uproar and distress starts to cease and the price of oil goes up, they're gonna continue to tank because people do not have the time or the money to give them their energy. And that's 50% of their company. That's 50% of their stake invested in these very tumultuous areas. So again, it makes you think, well, where's the regulation? When are things going to change? When are they going to invest their money in things that are actually going to make the company ascend? Because the direct selling model is obviously not going to work. Being stubborn is clearly not working. And then being in these countries that are so impoverished, really horrible things are going on. It doesn't help your situation. It's not going to help you grow. You're only going to continue to fall. Which brings us to the conclusion of the case study. Avon Products Incorporated will go bankrupt by the end of 2020 due to the points highlighted above. They have done little to adapt to changing market conditions and expectations in the industry. Avon has an outdated business model, high exposure in emerging markets, high debt and equity, and no plans to save themselves moving forward, which makes them a zero company. Zero meaning your debt is so high, it's not going to offset the revenue that's coming in. You're just paying off your debt essentially. Avon's only escape plan in this, according to the case study, is if they do a leveraged buyout. Now, leveraged buyout basically basically means that you have a parent company. That parent company comes in, they pay off your debt, and then they host the company themselves. But what substantial company, right? What reputable company is going to want to come in and buy out a company that has so much debt the revenue doesn't even matter at this point? It would be a stupid investment on that company. So therefore, we might just see Avon plateau. And to me, honestly, because I know I come on here and I talk about MLMs and I say how it is a negative, faulty business model, and how I don't believe that people will actually make money, make the money that they think they're going to make in these businesses. Although I say all of that, that makes me very, very sad. It would make me really, really sad to see Avon go. And let me explain to you why. Like I said earlier with the annoying church woman, I still got excited every time I saw that pamphlet. I still got excited to get that fragrance, to get that lotion. You know, it's just really, really cool to go through the catalog and just circle things that I liked and show it to my mom and be like, Mom, these are the things that I like. And then making our order and receiving it in the Avon white bag. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I would get that about every month, and there was a highlight to that. It's kind of, I guess, now how like you could just get something on Amazon Prime and it comes to you, or you order from Sephora and it comes to you. This is pre all of that. And I have to admit, you guys know, I've been a makeup artist for over a decade. A lot of my first products were Avon products. You know, a lot of the things that I really, really loved in the beauty industry came from Avon, came from Mark Beauty. I loved using Avon when I was younger. It really was a big determining factor for me to be in this industry. Those products made me happy. They made me feel beautiful. And I don't know, man. It was interesting reading this case study, and I really did enjoy it because it taught me a lot of things that I actually didn't know, especially from the financial standpoint. But it was also very sad because to see Avon go, you know, there's other MLMs that I wouldn't be sad to go, girl, but seeing Avon go would make me sad because I grew up with it, and it really did catapult me into the industry that I'm in now. But that's just my little dose of nostalgia. But what did you guys think? Did you enjoy the case study? Was there anything in there that you thought was interesting? Anything that you learned? Anything you didn't know? Sound off in the comments below because I'm eager to have this discussion with you all. But yeah, you guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this was your first time watching my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Margaret Angel. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed. My merch and my podcast are linked down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace.